It's time to leap into Pond and learn how to play the newest game by Brother Ming Games. Pond is a competitive deck builder for 2 to 4 players, where you'll lead your frogs across the map competing for control in order to earn victory points. The game ends when a special resource called crowns have all been taken, and the player with the most VP wins. To begin, each player will select a unique faction of frogs to play as. Here, we have the cowboy frogs facing off against the wizard frogs. Each faction has their own unique starting deck of cards, a unique faction ability, and their own set of frog meeples. To start the game, each player will place a long frog into their starting pond and draw 5 cards. Pond is a turn-based game. At the start of each turn, each of your long frogs will deploy 1 frog. During your turn, you may play cards, buy cards, and move meeples in any order. Every faction's unique starting card always has the effect of gain 1 berry when played. Berries are the main resource in Pond, and you can spend them to purchase more frog cards. Yummy! The shop for frog cards is divided into 3 sections. Generics, which are always available, standards, which are randomly dealt from the frog deck, and heroes, which are randomly dealt from the hero deck. Generic and standard cards cost berries to purchase, while the heroes cost crowns. Cards you buy are placed into your discard, and when your deck is empty, your discard is shuffled into a new deck. The next starting card is a frog with a knife. Run! This card lets you deploy 1 frog and gives us 1 free march action, which normally would cost 1 berry. Whenever you deploy a frog, it can be placed in a pond where you have a long frog. When you take a march action, select 2 adjacent ponds. You may move any number of your frogs from one pond to the other selected pond. The side ponds begin the game with 1 lily pad in them. Controlling these tokens generate extra VP every turn. To end your turn, discard all of the cards you've played, then gain 1 VP for every lily pad you control, plus 1 VP for every pond that you control by having at least 2 more frogs than any other player in that pond. Now let's play as the wizard frog and march 3 frogs into the cowboy's pond. When you share a pond, you can declare an attack against one opponent in that pond. You cannot declare an attack in the same pond more than once per turn. To attack, roll 1 die for each of your frogs in that pond, up to a maximum of 3. There are 3 dice results. A sword, which removes an opponent's frog, a bomb, which removes a frog from both players, and a miss, which does nothing. Whenever you remove an opponent's frog during your turn, you also gain 1 VP. A frog on a lily pad is always the last frog to be removed, but once it is emptied, you may immediately take control of it. The last basic card in your starting deck is the long frog card. So long! This card has 2 abilities. The first is simply to gain 1 berry and deploy 1 frog. The second will allow us to merge frogs into long frogs. Your long frogs cannot be removed by combat, do not count for control, cannot fight, cannot move, and cannot control lily pads. A player can also only have 1 of their long frogs per pond. The game will continue until all crown tokens have been taken, and these crowns can be earned in 3 ways. First, you gain 1 crown if you control 3 or more of the 4 central ponds at the end of your turn. Second, you gain 1 crown once you've removed at least 3 enemy frogs during your turn. And third, you gain 1 crown the first time you've landed an attack on a long frog each turn. Crown tokens are a special resource that you can spend to purchase hero frogs. These cards have game-changing and often permanent abilities that will greatly influence your overall strategy. When the game ends, add up the VP you've earned, the total VP value of the cards you've purchased, and 1 additional VP for each frog you've hibernated to see who wins. There are several synergies and combos to explore within Pond. You can focus on cards that build or consume lily pads, cards that focus on hibernating and awakening frogs, cards that generate economy, or just cards that focus on conquest. Only the most unfrog-gettable player will claim victory! I hope you've enjoyed this How to Play video. If you have any questions, you can join the Brother Ming Games Discord to ask and even help playtest. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!